This is your whiteboard brief for Friday, April 24th. We're going to start with some gymnastics movements, focusing on getting into a good hollow position with each. The first movement is 10 perfect hollow rocks, followed by 8 floor hollow to tuck transitions, and then inverted holds, taking the time for 10 breaths as you hold. Next is our Metcon, which is a 20-minute EMOM. Remember that EMOM stands for every minute on the minute. So you're trying to get the prescribed amount of reps done within a minute, allowing for 15 to 20 seconds of rest each minute. Minute 1 will be 20 renegade row. Minute 2, 30 Russian twist. Minute 3, 20 dumbbell pull throughs. And minute 4, 3 wall walks. We're going to end today with a Tabata of reverse plank and plank holds.
Okay guys, we have some gymnastic strength that we're going to do today. We're going to run through 4 rounds of perfect hollow rocks. So for those of you who are always jumping to a scaled version of the hollow rock in our Metcons, today we really want you to focus on trying 10 prescribed hollow rocks to the best of your ability. Our second movement is going to be floor to hollow tuck position, and last movement is going to be some type of inverted hold. That can be kicking up to a freestanding handstand. That can be a wall handstand. It can be a wall walk. It can be just placing your feet on something a little bit higher than the ground and working on getting somewhat inverted with your head in between your shoulders. So let's talk about the hollow rock first. And just the hollow position in general. The reason why we have you guys practice this movement so much is to really develop a stable core. Not only will that help you with the obvious movements like our gymnastics movements, our handstands, pull-ups, kipping pull-ups, muscle-ups, stuff like that. So those are the obvious things we know it's gonna help with. Otherwise, it's just gonna help our core become more solid and more stable. We'll be able to make a more mindful connection when we're actually moving through our weightlifting movements, stuff like that. The stronger our core is, the stronger our glutes are, the more protected our lower back is. So although these things may seem annoying as you go through them, and we kind of make you guys do them a lot, they are really, really good. And something you really can't do too much of. Practicing that good hollow position is just gonna help you with everything you do. Okay, so let's start with the perfect hollow rock. Like I said, for those of you who always just jump to the scaled version, in Metcons, let's try prescribed today. So, and for those of us that do hollow rocks a lot, we're just working to do the most perfect version that we can for today. So remember, the big part about the hollow position is getting our core nice and tight and then pressing our spine to the floor. Okay, so I want you guys to think of actually trying to get your belly button to touch your spine. Okay, so that's what we want to think of as we do this. Remember, the easiest way to get the small of your back connected with the floor is to get up to that 90-degree angle with your legs. So for most of you guys, this should pretty much force the small of your back into the ground. From here, shoulder blades come off. So I always like to start mine by reaching for my ankles, establishing that hollow position first. Then I can extend. Okay, from here, shoulder blades are off the ground. I'm pointing my toes hard. I'm squeezing my core. And then I'm just doing gentle rocks. Okay, front to back is 1. You guys are working on doing 10 of the best that you can do today. Okay, so we'll do 10 perfect hollow rocks. Second movement is gonna start the same exact way. We're gonna start in that hollow position, and then we're gonna tuck in. These are pretty challenging. So once again, you'll find that good hollow position, small of the back onto the ground. We'll fully extend, and then from here, we're going to tuck in. Back out, aggressively tuck in, out, tuck in. And when you guys are at the top of the tuck, try to hold for a second or 2. Okay, so we'll have 8 reps there. If you cannot do the hollow to tuck, like I said, I know it's a pretty challenging movement. Our scaled option for today will be knee tucks. So hands on the ground, fingers facing forward. We can lean back and extend our legs, tuck in and hold. Lean back, tuck in and hold. Okay, you'll still do 8 reps there. The last movement is our inverted hold. So like I said, this can be a freestanding handstand. This can be handstand on the wall. It can be a wall walk as far as you feel comfortable, or it can be inverting or getting your feet up on an elevated surface or I can even show you a version where you're not having to elevate at all. Now, for our inverted hold, it's not a prescribed amount of time, but we are asking that you guys breathe through this. So your length of the hold is gonna be 10 breaths worth. So when you are in a handstand hold, so say you're going to kick up to the wall or you're gonna do a wall walk, we still wanna focus on getting into that hollow position. So when I'm upside down, I'm not flaring open like this, okay? I don't wanna see an arch that way. I wanna see that slight curve getting into that good hollow position. So just like we were on the floor, that's what we're trying to do when we are kicking up to the wall. So I'm gonna kick up to the wall. I'm gonna show you guys a good version, and then I'm gonna flare open so you guys can see what I don't want you to do. Turn my camera just a little bit. Okay guys, so like I said, I'm gonna show you a good kick up to the wall first. Make sure your shoulders are ready to hold you, okay? So from here, I wanna get to that hollow position. So I'm squeezing my glutes, pointing my toes, trying to get to that hollow hold. Now I'm gonna take 10 big deep breaths. I'm not gonna take all 10 while I'm up here, but I do wanna show you guys where you're flaring open. So this is what I don't wanna see. Okay, I got a huge arch in my back. This is the opposite of the hollow position. So try to really fight, squeeze the core. You can bring one leg off the wall. Okay? If you can't do all 10 breaths at once, come off the wall, go back up whenever you're ready. Sorry, I'm so red. Okay, another version to get inverted is to do a wall walk. So if you're not comfortable kicking up to the wall like I just did, and make sure if you do kick up to the wall, that when you kick up, your arms are ready to support your body weight. I've seen multiple times where people have their hands planted, they'll kick up, and then they automatically let the elbows bend, they fall to the ground. So make sure you're in a good active position. Okay guys, wall walk would be next. So you can either wall walk all the way up, or you can go as high up as you feel comfortable. Okay, you don't actually have to do a full wall walk. You can just kind of plant your hands and lift your feet up. So say I know that I only feel comfortable going to right about here. This is where I'm gonna hold, but I'm also gonna think about squeezing my glutes and squeezing my core, getting into that good hollow position, driving my head in between my shoulders. Okay, another version for you guys would be to like plant your feet on some type of stable, elevated surface. So I'm gonna use my cooler. I'm gonna get my feet up on the top of the cooler, and then I'm letting my head come in between my shoulders. Okay, one last version. If you're not comfortable getting inverted like that, you can basically do like the starting position of an inchworm. So you'll reach for the floor, walk out just a little bit, and then drive your head through your shoulders. Taking 10 deep breaths there. Okay, we have 4 rounds to get through this, resting as needed in between. Okay guys, our metcon for today is the EMOM style workout. It's gonna be 20 minutes long. We have 4 different movements, so that's 5 rounds total. Remember with EMOMs, you have a prescribed amount of reps that you're trying to get done within a minute's time. The quicker you get those reps done, the more rest time you have within that minute. Today is going to be really toasty to get all these reps done, so keep in mind, round 1, attempt to go through the prescribed amount of reps, okay? If you're finding that you don't have at least 15 to 20 seconds out of each minute to rest, then you'll start to scale the reps down. Maybe scaling the reps down by 5 reps, I would say. Kind of test that out, but we do want you guys to have some rest time in between. If you're hitting the point where you're actually going to the next minute, still finishing your reps from the minute before, that defeats what we're trying to do today, okay? So every round or every minute needs to be contained within that minute with 15 to 20 seconds of rest. Okay, we got 4 different movements today: renegade row, Russian twist, dumbbell pull-throughs, and wall walks. So let's start with the renegade row. This is a great core and shoulder stability movement. This is one of my favorite movements to program. So remember with our renegade row, the first part of this is establishing that nice solid plank position. Okay, and also remember, I know a lot of you guys sometimes will have trouble with the amount of pressure on your wrist by holding the dumbbell. So if you do have that, keep in mind you could always just plant your non on the side and pull up, okay? So if that does bother your wrist, but a prescribed renegade row is both hands on the dumbbells here, making sure that your hands for the most part stay underneath your shoulders. Feet can go wider than a normal plank, okay? And so I'm establishing this good solid position before I start. I'm gonna pull up to my hip, okay, without twisting. And once again, remember, it's not to the rib cage, okay? So we're not rowing to the rib cage, we're rowing to our pocket. Okay, so what I'm thinking about there is just keeping that good hollow position as I'm doing that. Each time you pull one will count as 1 rep. So it's gonna be 10 on both sides, 20 total, okay? If I get that done in 30 seconds, I have 30 seconds to rest. The next movement is our Russian twist. You guys can pick whatever object you wanna twist with today. If you have a plate, a kettlebell, a dumbbell, or just body weight. Okay, so a prescribed Russian twist, our heels off the ground, and I'm trying to keep my chest open. So just because my heels are floating doesn't mean that I'm gonna slouch into this position. I'm trying to do my best to keep shoulder blades back, chest open. Okay, so from here, these should be pretty quick, twisting, and trying to touch that object onto the ground, okay? Make sure you guys are really trying to get a lot of rotation when you do this. Next movement, scaled version for Russian twist. We can let our feet drop to the ground, okay? Just because my feet are resting on the ground doesn't mean like I'm really weighing heavy. They're just gently touching the ground, okay? Next we have dumbbell pull-throughs. You can also do this with a kettlebell. With these, another great shoulder stabilization movement. And so say I'm gonna start my first rep on my right hand. I'm gonna get into my plank position. I have the dumbbell outside of my left shoulder about at the top of my rib cage. From here, once again, I'm gonna get into that good plank position. I'm gonna grab the dumbbell, pull it across, and place it outside. Okay, try to get your arm to full extension as you pull. Okay, so every time you pull, that is 1 rep. Okay, minute 4, 3 wall walks. So if you guys are shooting to do a prescribed one today, I'll show you what that's gonna look like. So for a prescribed wall walk, the first thing you're gonna do is pretty much a push-up. So you're gonna get into that plank position. This is how everyone should start. Plank position from here. Now I'm gonna start applying that pressure with my feet. As I walk up the wall, I'm walking my hands in. Okay, I'm gonna stop about 3 inches away, touch the nose, and then walk myself back out nice and controlled. Still applying a lot of pressure on the wall. Coming back down, letting my chest touch, okay? If you guys aren't there yet, basically what you can do is still do your push-up to start, and then you can kind of reach your foot up. Instead of walking it up, you can just place it up there, place the other foot, walk back as far as you feel comfortable, hold for a couple seconds, and then take the feet back down to the ground. Okay, that's gonna be a scaled option for today. Getting 3 wall walks in, prescribed wall walks in within a minute is a lot, so just scale as needed. Maybe you're only doing 1 or 2 instead of the 3. Okay, so when we're done with our wall walks, we're gonna go back up to the top. We're gonna run through those 4 movements for 5 rounds, totaling 20 minutes. Okay guys, our extra credit or finisher for today is a Tabata of 2 movements, reverse plank and plank hold. These will both be on our elbows today, if you can. Okay, so remember Tabata is gonna be 4 minutes total. It's 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest for 8 rounds. So our first movement is going to be the reverse plank. This is just the opposite to a plank hold. So this is gonna be working more posterior chain, so the back side of our body. What it's gonna look like is elbows planted down on the ground here, and we're going to press our hips up, okay? So I'm trying to keep full hip extension. I'm squeezing my glutes, looking up to the ceiling, and heels are pressing into the ground. Okay, if that is too hard of a version, you can plant your hands instead. Same concept though, pressing my hips up to the ceiling, heels are planted, squeezing my glutes. Okay, a lot of you guys will feel this in the front side of your shoulders too. That is completely normal. So like I said, if elbow's too hard, go ahead and plant your hands, arms will need to be at full extension. That's the first 20 seconds. Second 20 seconds is gonna be an elbow plank, okay? So elbows plant onto the ground. We're squeezing our glutes, punching up through our shoulder blades, trying to get into that good hollow position here. You'll hold that for 20 seconds and then rest for 10. And we'll alternate back and forth between those two movements for our Tabata.